methodological, philosophical, and psychological aspects of education, and alternative ways of teaching and learning. Many people ask me whether there's a need of this kind of a 2-year full-time master's program to work for an NGO. In the master's program, we had rigorous process of learning, lot of readings along with debates and discussions, which helped us listen to multiple perspectives, speak our thoughts, learn and unlearn. Today, as we try to bond with our children and create a non-threatening and non-judgmental atmosphere, I fondly remember our relationship with faculty. If you notice, we have students from many different states, and that means a diversity of languages and cultures. And like me, I see children enjoy and appreciate linguistic and cultural diversity and accept people as they are. Finally, it's not just about sending the children to school. For the overall development of the child, it is essential to build a relationship with the community and parents. These communities are the most marginalized, and hence, there should be conscious attempts to dialogue and engage with them. During the last 4 years, I learned what privileges are and realized how difficult it is for someone from a marginalized community to change her life situation. Experiences at my master's helped me reinforce my thoughts and beliefs, which otherwise I would have doubted. I got an opportunity to see lives of people and got inspired to try and live a life which I like. That is to live meaningfully and happily.
Yeah, those who walked in late, we were just playing a video. Yeah.
Agree है कि by birth
Second,
लड़कियां कम
we're just playing a video while waiting for people to join. Don't think you have missed anything.
अगर आपको कुछ नया सीखने के लिए तो LUT यूनिवर्सिटी. You know how many children we have?
Yeah, they have to mute. It'll be great if you can stay muted after joining. We'll start in a 4-5 minutes. Just give a couple of minutes for everyone to join. Since we're waiting, let me play another couple of my favorite videos.
Do you know how many children we have in India?
Oh, are you able to hear? Or maybe I did not.
We can hear it stopped, but
But 1 second, I may not have clicked it clearly. Yeah, I think there's some button to be clicked. Zoom, where is Zoom? There it is. Oh, it should be okay.
Do you know how many children we have in India? The number is very close to the population of the third most populous country in this world, United States of America. Yes, we have more than 300 million children in our country. To cater to the educational needs of this large number, we in our country have nearly 1.5 million schools. Majority of them are public schools, what we call as government schools, either owned or funded by the government. And these schools are staffed by nearly 10 million teachers. And this is equal to the population of a country like Sweden. So it's almost like every single person in Sweden is a teacher here in India. Now, this is a very challenging space that we have, because there is so much that we have to do in education, which requires a large number of education professionals. And it is for this that there are MA in education programs that many universities offer. We at Azim Premji University also offer an MA in education. I think that you would be very excited to look at as to what is this program about, because this sector is not just challenging, but a very exciting one to be in. So I do encourage you to visit www.azimpremjiuniversity.edu.in to learn more about the MA in Education program that we offer at Azim Premji University. Look forward to seeing you there.
The MA education program.
Application you don't have to do because you have already applied. No, you're not missed anything. You're not missed anything. Yeah, I don't understand, Anjali, your question. We're starting this only at 5 o'clock, so I don't think you have missed anything. I'm just going to play this video and then we'll wait for 5 minutes. If somebody is joining, then we will start, right? Just give me one second. Last video before we start. This video probably will make our life slightly easier when the webinar is happening. So listen to Sumitra carefully.
The MA education program places a great deal of emphasis on field practice. This is because the university classroom work and engagement in field settings are equally important to become an education practitioner. As students of this program, you will spend 17 weeks in variety of field settings, trying to understand the dynamics and the realities of the space. In the first semester, you will spend 2 weeks in the field institutes of the foundation, trying to understand the public education system. You will spend time visiting schools, interacting with teachers and children, with the functionaries, to understand their lives, their challenges, the motivations, and how they function in the system. In the next, you will spend 3 weeks with a civil society organization, trying to understand how they contribute to education in the country, how they collaborate with the government, and how they impact the education system. In the third semester, the longest of the field practice components, you will spend 12 weeks in one of the field institutes of the foundation. During this time, you will teach in a government school, get involved in teacher professional development activities, and also conduct small-scale research. A lot of the theory that you would have studied, this is the time you get to apply all of it. It will also give you a lot of insights into how to contribute to the education system and impact the country's education system. This is why a large portion of the course is dedicated to field practice. To know more about the program, please log into our website, www.
Yeah, so as I said, you don't have to log in because you've already applied, and that's the reason you are here. So it's 5-2. Sindhu, I'll just get started in the interest of time. I'll just introduce the session to the participants, and then we will start. Okay. So some housekeeping stuff, to stay on mute as much as possible, right? But if you think there's a pressing question that you need to ask, do ask, right? Between Sindhu and I will be speaking for around 25 to 30 minutes. And by 5:30, we'll open it up for questions, right? So just doing a formal welcome to you all. So good afternoon, warm welcome to this webinar. My name is Raj Gopal, right? I head the outreach team here at Azim Premji University. I'm speaking to you from Bangalore, from the wonderful city of Bangalore, in a town called Sarjapura, right? That's where the campus is. It's nice to see so many of you have joined, and education is a flagship program for us, and we're quite excited when people come and listen to us about the program. I mean, I keep saying this wherever I go, that a lot of opportunities in the education space that we are seeing today. So we'll try to unpack that. How do we train professionals before they venture into that work arena of education, right? So we'll talk about that. So I'm going to bring up a slide. Many of you may not be familiar with Azim Premji University. I'll do that in the first 2-3 minutes before I hand it over to Sindhu. Yeah, so hope you're able to see my screen. Broadly, Azim Premji University, we're part of Azim Premji Foundation, right? This is an entity university established by the foundation, and it's important to understand. So I was interacting with the Allahabad University, which is a public university. So I told them that we are a public-spirited private university, right? So we look at, for us, the basic premises with which the university functions is access, equity, and justice, correct? So because of the philanthropic nature, we are able to do a lot in terms of need-based scholarships to students, supporting them in the way they need. We carefully look at the processes that we have for admissions are equitable in nature, right? And then because it's a philanthropic university, we have a clear social purpose that whatever we do, right, in terms of degree program, diploma program, research, publication that comes, there's a social enterprise mela happening today here at the campus. Whatever we do should contribute towards a better society. Yeah. I'm not going to go through the numbers, but you know that we're quite a large university, and in the next 1 year, if you see, the numbers will just go up. I've been told to update the alumni numbers from 3,000 to 3,500, so which I forgot to do, but that's the kind of we started in 2011, and I told you I'm speaking to you from Bangalore, but if I'm doing a session next month, probably I'll do the session sitting in Bhopal. So that is how Bhopal is also getting ready. But today's session is exclusively for the MA education that you applied for the Bangalore campus, right? So this is the final webinar that we're doing as part of the webinar week, and we covered almost all the programs, and we kept the best for the last, the MA education program. With that tiny intro, I would like to introduce Sindhu. But Sindhu, before I hand it over to you, the one area that I would like to introduce the participants here is that education, as we see, the ecosystem is quite large. It's not something that is restricted inside the classroom alone, right? Of course, the core of that process, that teaching learning happens inside a classroom. But there are many other aspects that impacts that teaching learning that happens in the classroom, right? And the question people ask is it same as B.Ed? You know, B.Ed is a completely different program that you do after your graduation, still a bachelor's degree, but this is a master's program preparing you for a variety of roles to contribute in the ecosystem of education. Over to you, Sindhu, and I'll just to give that intro, and then I'll move through the slides as you speak.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Raj Gopal. Hope I'm audible. Yes, so you've already introduced the complex ecosystem. Possibly I'll say that looking at this figure, that the classroom is very much the focus of our MA education program, but that doesn't mean that you don't go beyond that. You have opportunities to develop material, to think about, how does one go deep into a particular subject area, to interact with the community, to be involved with some bit of in-service teacher education, to be possibly, part of understanding what writing textbooks involves, managing schools involves, what are all the complexities of policies, their interpretation and implementation. So all of these opportunities are there, while of course the complexity widens and you move out from the classroom, and the classroom is an important focus as you're beginning. But all of these elements are definitely part of our curriculum. Yeah. So maybe I'll go to the next slide. Yeah, so the MA education program, possibly all of you have seen this on our website and in the program document, is intended to prepare educational practitioners, right? So the first objective there that you see, it's important. Theory is very, very important for us. We look at theory in a nuanced manner together with practice from an educational practitioner's perspective. And that means field practice is a very central component of our curriculum. And also we have courses, right, which bring in a practitioner's perspective, as we will see shortly. And also another important objective, the second one listed there, is that you are anchored in a school subject area. I'll come to the areas possibly in the next slide, but the idea is that you are anchored here not just to specialize and understand a subject in depth, but also that this is like a whole in itself, right? You understand the subject, you understand institutions, you understand teachers, their beliefs, practices, pedagogy, curriculum, the socio-political context, all of that, how all this comes together when you are studying a school subject, and therefore anchoring yourself in a subject area is very important. Linked to the first objective is the third, that you develop capabilities to design and implement specific educational actions, interventions in the field, because that's a very important part of what we do in the curriculum, what we expect our students to do in the future when you are going out. And the fourth one, very, very important, learn to be part of a community of educational practitioners through direct experience. Direct experience is underlined there. The community is absolutely critical, because without a community, you cannot design an intervention, implement it. And of course, you are a community of learners first at the university, and then further you will interact and be with and form your own community possibly as in the years to come. So these are some of the important objectives that are highlighted here. And in the next slide, yeah, so this is just a broad kind of way of conceptualizing how the MA education program has been structured, right? So, of course, thinking is very important, conceptualizing is very important. Only then can you act, right? Though it may not follow in sequence, and that's why you have a cycle over here. It's like an iterative process, right? You think, you know, you experience, you act, all of that goes together. But these elements should be there, right? And it is spread through the program. So what do we mean when we say thinking right? That you need some foundations, right? And the foundations are contributed by what are called the disciplines, foundational disciplines of education, which are philosophy, sociology, psychology, a historical perspective. Then you also we have courses which are rooted in education, such as curriculum studies. Then you have the school systems in India, teacher professional development, field research as methodology to help you to not just conduct research, but also to make good observations, reflect carefully, being able to understand the nuances of what you experience. So all of these form our core courses, the conceptual underpinnings, which help you to think about issues, experiences, and also what you engage with, right, in the world of practice. Then what I already spoke about, knowing one subject, right, the nature of a subject. What is, when you say that, you know, science, for instance, is a subject, what does that mean? It comes from a larger area, a discipline, which has its own foundations, historical character, practices, which constitutes its nature and particular methods that scientists use. And that, of course, we draw from, right? But we will have to think about it in the context of education again. What does it mean when you are teaching science, right, to children from diverse backgrounds, with diverse interests, with diverse career aspirations? all of that comes together. And of course, content knowledge is very, very critical for a teacher. It is not to say that all the content should be learned and you should feel quite superior therefore in the classroom. But yes, you do need good competence in your subject, and you should be a learner so that you are able to engage with changes, with your developing understanding as you go along. And of course, you develop curricular materials in a particular area which will directly feed into your practice or be useful when you are engaging with teachers. Then you have the experience of action, which is your direct experience through our practicum component, which happens on a weekly basis every Wednesday. And you also have the field practice component, which are the longer engagements spread from 2 weeks, 2-3 weeks to 3 months, right? And I think we just heard Sumitra, our field practice coordinator, speak about it in the video as well. So moving on to the broad structure of the curriculum based on this cyclical process, this feeds into particular courses, as we will see in the next slide. So here you have a whole lot of courses here, but then just to break it down for you. So in semester 1, we have these 4 core courses, which are contributing to your thinking or your conceptual foundations, right? In education, you have philosophy of education, sociology of education, child development, which can be linked to psychology, and introduction to school systems in India. So these form important conceptual underpinnings. You see an open course that is mentioned there. Now, we have 2 categories of open courses, right? We have what is called a School of Education open course, which is focused on art and aesthetics. But the idea is it is necessarily linked to education. And we have faculty in these courses who have been practitioners themselves, who have made these linkages between art and aesthetics and educational practice. And we require all students to take one such course in theatre, puppetry, various areas in art and aesthetics. I'll come to the field components a little later. So you have these taught courses in semester 1. Then in semester 2, you have a couple of core courses again. Curriculum studies, which is an area that's completely rooted in education, gives you an idea about curriculum theory, considerations to design curriculum, the Indian education system, the new education policy that we are debating, discussing now, right? All of this comes into the course to help you understand how to conceptualize curriculum and also think about how does one design a small curriculum module. Then we have schools as organizations helping you look at, a larger perspective on schools, right? Different institutional mechanisms that help us to do the work of education. Then we have curriculum and pedagogy courses, right? 1 and 2 in semester 2. So we have what are called, as I just mentioned, we have a focus on a school subject area, right? You're already aware of that. And we have 4 electives in the school subject area that you choose, which are called broadly curriculum and pedagogy electives, right? So the curriculum and pedagogy electives 1 and 2 happen in semester 2. And they deal with the nature of the subject, methods, and broadly curriculum and pedagogic approaches in that area, right? So both of these happen in semester 2. And you have 2 more in semester 3, which I'll talk about since we're talking about the CMP courses. And these courses give you a little more advanced understanding of the area that you are engaged with, get a little deeper into the core ideas in the discipline, and also curriculum and pedagogy 4, which happens in the field. It is a taught course, but it happens in the field. And that is basically what is called a curriculum material development course. You will develop materials related to your subject area, right? Then coming back to semester 2, you have an open course 2. This is the second open course that all students are expected to do. And that is again an area which is not linked to education directly, though you may find indirect links, but on a variety of topics, from storytelling to film appreciation to music, dance, right? So a variety of areas, and it is a requirement, and of course students also enjoy taking this as part of their wider appeal, their own interest, and some of them also manage to make links with what they're doing now and later as well. Then in semester 3, I've already spoken about the 2 curriculum and pedagogy electives. You have a field research course 1, and in semester 4, course 2, right? So this is, as the name indicates, introduction to research methodologies, some methods that you will do, a short proposal you will develop, and for which you will collect a little bit of data. I'll come to that. So these 2 courses help you understand research methods and also apply it through a small scale research, right? When does this research happen? It happens in the field through this large field practice component called field practice. Oh, I'll come to the field practice component in a bit. Before that, there's one more co-course, teacher professional development, right? Teacher professional development again helps you understand, right? How do you conceptualize teaching, and what are different perspectives, right? That can help you understand, empathize with, and also think about teaching practice, right? In a manner that is not just tied to school subject areas, but more broadly for working with teachers. Then I will talk about, I will continue with the taught courses since we are going in that direction. In semester 4, you have what's called a consolidation of program experience course. Now, this is a new course. We are doing it for the first time this semester, and it's a co-course. It helps you consolidate, bring together your entire program experience, right? And you also have 3 electives, open electives in semester 4. Please note there are the CMP curriculum and pedagogy electives, which are rooted in your subject area. And you have 3 other electives, right, which are open. You can, these deal with, areas that are linked to education, like Night Talim, for instance, or it could be on various other topics such as, advanced social research, or it could be from other schools, right? Courses which are offered by other schools on diversity, religion, law, right? Various other courses that may be of interest to MA education students, right? You can also take up something called an independent study, right? Instead of an elective. Of course, there are processes for it, which means that if you find an area that is deeply interesting to you, but you were not able to engage with it in depth through the program, or you don't find courses or electives which are linked to that, you could approach a faculty member and also work out an independent study through the semester in lieu of an elective that you will take up, right? Now about the field practice components, we saw the video just before we started. You have field practice 1 in semester 1, which is an immersion, right, into the public education system. It happens in the field institutes of the Azim Premji Foundation for a couple of weeks. Then in semester 2, you have what is called an organizational internship of 3 weeks. You work with an organization, understand their aims and objectives, how they develop interventions for educational action, and wherever possible, you will also get involved, participate in that, and definitely observe, engage in the best possible way, given the 3 weeks. Then in semester 3, which is actually the end of semester 3 at the university, we have a 3-month-long field engagement in the field institutes of the Azim Premji Foundation, where you will do a variety of work, teaching in the public schools. You have teacher professional development work, teacher support. Then I also mentioned field research has an empirical component, right, where you collect data. That also happens during the field practice 3. And the 2 courses that you see there put with an asterisk, the curriculum and pedagogy 4 course and the teacher professional development course, both of these happen in the field during field practice 3, right? So therefore, this is a very important component for us. Our students have just come back from that experience, and it's been very meaningful for them challenging, yes, but extremely fruitful. And there's a short preparation for that also that happens in the university, which is linked to the actual field practice. Right. So these are all the different categories of courses. You have the core, the foundations, electives of two kinds, the curriculum and pedagogy rooted in the subject, and the open electives. And then you have the field practice components, 3 of them of varying duration. Of course, we also have the practicum, which happens on a weekly basis and is linked to your courses that happen that particular semester, right? Practicum happens in schools, it happens in through engagements near the university. And then you have the open courses, 2 in number, one of which is linked to education and art and aesthetics, and the other from a wider pool of courses. Career opportunities in this area, I mean, I think a little bit we already spoke about. Many of our students move into NGOs working with as teacher educators, working in a variety of settings, even within that, and CSR initiatives, program design, different kinds of curriculum interventions in the field related to curriculum development of materials, content as part of different organizations, social enterprises. And also, of course, our vision is that all of this finally contributes to improving and enriching the public education system, which is something we should not wash our hands of. We should be very cognizant of, and that is our hope for all our graduates. Yeah, Rajgopal, you want to add to this?
Yeah. No. Thank you very much, Indu. I was actually making notes because each time you explain this, because this is a new curriculum, right? We have just gone through a revision. So thanks, right? So I'll just quickly update a kind of recap for those who joined. I saw some 10-15 of them joined after we started. And then I deliberately did not introduce you also. So I'll do that both. So those who joined late, do not worry too much. You're not missed many things, but let me just summarize this for you. My name is Rajgopal, by the way. I'm part of the outreach team here. So what we're trying to do in this webinar is, number one, we want to clarify who should be joining this program, right? Since you've applied, I'm sure you know why you applied. But if there are people watching the webinar considering, right, it could be any undergraduate degree. When I say any, it doesn't mean it means that we value your undergraduate degree. You could be a science student. In fact, we want more science students. Nobody talks about the crisis in science and maths education in India. Right. I keep telling the 11th and 12th standard end up becoming a pre-engineering or a pre-medical preparation. So you could be a science student, you could be somebody doing humanities, you could be even management students who want to move, commerce students, but you should be interested in a school subject, right? So you're somebody interested in a school subject, you're somebody concerned about the way education is happening in the country, then you are eligible to apply to Azim Premji University. Right? Then what Professor Sindhu was trying to do is to tell you what will you get to learn, right? How is your, it's good to do that, right? Before you sign up for any university, which you might have not done during your undergraduate degree, is to find out how is my learning experience structured? Oh, this is there. This is the right program. So do that. Third, we want to tell you, what does this program prepare you for? So that's the broad agenda of this webinar. And I have some 2-3 slides to go through, and then we'll take questions, Sindhu. And of course, Sindhu teaches here in the MA education programs. You are in direct access with the faculty member here. She's also a program coordinator. She's been here with the beginning of the journey at Azim Premji University. Her interest is in science education, right? And also deeply interested in how children pick up science, right? And you should, I know I will not be doing justice, but to understand her entire body of work, you should go and look at the profile page. She's interested in this idea of what she calls hybrid spaces, right? Where children are creating and developing their own ideas of learning science based on their socio-cultural background and all. Okay. And Sindhu, if I'm not mistaken, you teach both the science pedagogy courses plus the curriculum studies courses also.
Yes. The consolidation course this semester. Yeah. Given up curriculum studies for a little bit. Yeah. It's an interesting course. Yeah.
Correct. I'm going to bring up the slides one more time. And then those who have any questions, you can type in. And let me see what I have missed to say. I am, So Khalil, if you want a question to ask straight away, do ask, but just give me 3 minutes. Just give me 3 minutes. I'll do a quick recap of those who have joined late. I just gave a quick background of Azim Premji University, where we are. Spoke about a little bit about the campuses. This is the range of PG programs that we have. We went through briefly to introduce you the ecosystem of education that we need to have a lot of trained professionals to be contributing in all of those areas, or there could be some areas that we would have missed. When you go to a community and when you're working with a community, something new would come up. But the idea is with NEP 2020 in place, we really clearly see both career avenues and the need of trained professionals in education. And then we do that through the MA education program, right? And these are the 4 main components. And if you choose to join MA education program at Azim Premji University, this is the cycle that you go through, right? It's not linear or layered or anything like that, because one thing is quite clear: we do not have techno-managerial solutions for education. And sometimes it bothers us that people are with no pedagogic content knowledge sitting and designing solution in the name of edtech. Right? So that's both are different. So I know, Sindhu, that's what worries me I'm a lay person. I'm not a trained academic like Sindhu. But when someone says that, oh, anybody can teach mathematics or anybody can teach math, so that's really bothering. They're saying that because they're very good at their content. Great, more power to you. You may have that content to develop rocket science programming, but teaching children needs what we call the pedagogic content knowledge. How do you present that idea, right? If it's algebra A plus B whole square, or photosynthesis or evolution, to the child in context, right? So that pedagogic content knowledge is what we try to teach here through the subject or through 4 courses. When we say course here is 4 subjects or 4 topics. But to do that, you need, Hindi mein they say, drishtikon chahiye. You need perspectives in education, right? Without, sometimes it bothers me that, and if you know child psychology, the way you design something will be very different. So we look at education through lenses of these disciplines, which are solid disciplines that we have, fortunately, of philosophy, psychology, sociology, to understand, to build and understand. Thinking right is to have the knowledge about education. And this does not help unless you experience it. You can't sit and imagine it, oh, this is what could be happening. Right? So we have clubbed that. You have knowledge, educational theory, you know one school subject, you go ahead and experience it. And it is experiences. Each time I look at this, Sindhu, I'm quite impressed with the way it's not in one block or one chunk. It's been designed in different parts of their 4 semesters. Spread across 3 semesters, right? That's what we did. These are things available on the website. Those who have not completed the form, please do log in today. We're still waiting for the admission committee has not given any approvals for extending it. So you have to finish the forms in the next 2 days. Sunday night, finish it and prepare for the entrance examination. That's all I had. Now I think we can take questions at this point of time. The other things I'll bring up with the slide if there are questions. Yes, so I think the first question somebody wanted was, yeah, Khalil, you can raise a hand. There's something called raise a hand. You can either raise a hand or you can just type in also. Yeah, so there's while we're waiting for Khalil's question, the subject areas one can choose from. I'll bring up the slide again.
Yeah, thanks. Actually, it was on the slide, but I don't think I mentioned it specifically. So we have science, social studies, language, mathematics. These are school subject areas. And we also have early childhood education, which is like a thematic area, which brings in elements of literacy, numeracy, EVS as well. Right. So, but then we know that from the NCF foundational stage, right, grades 1 and 2 are also included in this. And it's an important area in the national education policy and initiatives related to foundational literacy and numeracy, right? So that is there. Of course, science, math, social studies, language are familiar areas to you. You have engaged with it in school. And here, of course, the focus will be on pedagogy while we deal with content. And in the field, when you are teaching, you will, of course, have to deal with content. But then our initial screening by way of the entrance test and the interviews is also some requirement, right, of subject content before you come into the program.
Yeah. So can I, Sindhu, if you agree, can I organize a structure for this Q&A? Huh?
Yeah, sure.
So that otherwise, yesterday it was all over the place.
Yeah.
all over the place, and I got tired in 15-20 minutes. So, I mean, of course, my colleagues were there helping me quite nicely. So let's do this for the viewers. There are 4 components that we'd like to clarify. The first is eligibility. If you have any questions on eligibility, please do ask now. That's part A. Right? Then we move to program-related questions, like the way Swapnaganda was asking, what are the subject areas? If you have any program-related question, that is B. The C is selection process. What is the selection process? Test, how do I prepare for the test, interview, and things like that. Finally, my favorite, I kept it for the last deliberately, placements, right? I mean, somebody's asking what are the opportunities in CSR and all. So we'll cover that, right? So I'm opening the first, when I say placements, higher education also, right? Career opportunities after this thing. So all the questions I'll take. So at this point of time, asking question, do you have any eligibility question like, oh, I'm an engineer, is MA education the correct for me? You know, if you have those kind of questions, let's do that first. Eligibility questions. Yes, Upna, go for it.
Verbally? Hello, sir. Can I ask verbally, or do you need me to put it in chat?
No. You can ask verbally. That's best, actually. If you can come.
Okay.
And,
so about eligibility, I mean, I did see that there is no age limit or anything for this course.
Yeah.
So a little bit about myself, right? I'm a BTech grad. I've been working in IT for about 20 years. I'm almost 42 now, right? But I've been very interested in education. I mean, probably I'll tell you about reasons later when it comes to the interview. But my question is, see, for someone who like me, right, at 42 or 43, when I want to do this, does it really make sense? I know for the course itself, there's no age limit, but say when I want to look at opportunities, right? Really matter.
I mean, Sindhu, of course, Sindhu, I know that a lot of names came, right? People have done it. So,
yeah, you could go ahead, Rajgopal. I think you have, the responses.
No, the thing is, we kept this no age limit specifically for this reason. Because people who are at this age group of 40, between 40 and 45, they do see that they have remaining 20-25 years of their work life.
Exactly.
They see that, right? Now, if you believe that for that next, like when my college senior was here for admission, I thought he came to enroll his son or daughter. Then Sanjeet said, no, we used to call him Speed in college. Right? He was my college senior. So Sanjeet said, no, I'm joining MA education. I said, what? So before going, I mean, he had done this after 20 years of his work as a senior leader in Oracle. He wanted to go back and work in the school that his father runs in Kundapura near Udupi. He was quite clear that he needed to learn and understand education. Right? Somebody had told him, don't go with your BTech electronics knowledge from RSC Suratkal into Udupi. So he came, spent 2 years. I can give you many examples like that. Right?
All right.
So the program is designed for India. The program is India in the sense it could be from any part of the country. It could be from any socioeconomic background. That is the microcosm we want here. We want people with different educational background. We don't want to make this, I mean, I think I'm not, that diversity of educational background is important for us. The diversity of age is also important for us. Cindy, over to you, if I missed something.
No, nothing much to add. Just that we value the presence of those with work experience, mature students who have really thought through, right, these decisions and who are there in the classroom space, because the classroom for us is very important, not only as the core of education, but also that we have all this diversity and discussion, right, deliberation, which is critical, right, to both education as well as our pedagogic practice. So, and we have heard from, students like you in the past that It has been very meaningful both for them and for just understanding these issues, right? So it's together with the readings and course content that we do. So so I definitely we would encourage you to apply.
All right, great. Thank you both.
And I mean, if you are in and around Bangalore, please do come for the open house tomorrow. And this is one segment that I'm going to have an exclusive segment for working professionals.
Okay.
If you think you're stuck in the IT world or the tech world, nothing against that. I'm more power to them. I've spent a lot of time there.
No offense taken.
But if you feel that you want to know how to transition yourself in the social development sector, I'll be more than happy to do that. I do that a lot of offline sessions, but tomorrow it's an open house here on the campus.
Absolutely. I too am planning to visit.
Please do come. Please do come.
Yes.
Sindhu, let me quickly go through the questions.
I think Lakshmi had her hand up. So I was
Yeah,
wondering,
yeah,
how
go
do you
for
want
it.
to?
No,
I can't see it now.
I'll take Lakshmi's
Lakshmi.
question, then I'll go to the chat. I'll go to the chat.
Yeah, hi. I'm a teacher. I teach physics in a school in Bangalore. So my intention to join the course is because I wanted to do a PhD in education. I have a post-graduation in physics, but then I came to know that I need a post-graduation in education to take this forward. So, and I was confused about MA in education or MEd. So because it is a research process and it requires the and how different MA in education is from MEd, and will this enable me to go forward and register for a PhD in education?
Rajkumar, do you want to respond first?
No, you go ahead. But we actually have written an FAQ on the website.
No, go ahead. You start. I can add things later to that.
I'm just trying to see how to process. See, the thing is, it's a choice that you have to make, Lakshmi, right? Whether you want to do an MEd or an MA education. Quickly tell you. See, MEd is a post-graduation degree for people who have done BEd.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Right? So I just hope you have a BEd degree, right? I hope
yes, I do have.
Now, broadly, if you look at the way majority of the MEd programs are designed, is to prepare you to teach in a BEd college.
Okay.
Yeah. So that and of course we need to revamp the BEd colleges of the country. Not revamp. I mean, I say this very openly. I know I'm on live. We need to shut down some of the bad BEd colleges of the country. So we need good teachers in the BEd colleges, in the government BEd colleges. So MEd is broadly designed like that.
Okay.
Yeah. MA education is if I can go back to my previous slide, it is with the realization, right, of the foundation's work, Azim Premji Foundation's work in the last 20 years in 50 districts, difficult districts of the country. It's quite clear that we need a broader understanding of education, not restricted to making an expert in a pedagogy alone.
Okay.
Right? So it's up to you as to how do you look at your career path. You imagine yourself as a program manager working in education intervention. You imagine yourself, as you said, you're doing physics, right? It's in great demand, right? We have physics and math. You see yourself as a curricular designer for physics, right? Where you say that for this children, I'm going to teach physics using bicycle. The entire thing, starting from friction to balancing to conversion of electrical energy from mechanical to electrical using a dynamo, a lot of things you can design using just that bicycle. You should follow what Arvind Gupta does. He does not need, for him, that is the technology. Right? For him, the tree is the. So if your imagination of, I don't know what language Indian language you speak at home, if you imagine coming up with content in one of the Indian languages, then MA education is what I would say. But then you take that choice evaluating these two programs by speaking to people who have done MA education, speaking to people who have done MEd. Is that fine?
Yeah. I was just worried about the forward path, like registering for a PhD, also understanding, because in my teaching career, I have seen, I have taught IB, I have taught ICSE schools. So I see the difference in the approach, and I see that there is I agree with you, a revamp is required, especially when it comes to the methodology of teaching. So I really find the parts of this course very, very interesting, especially when it comes to curriculum design. So I just wanted to clarify that, how will it help me to move forward into the area of research, which I see that, Ms. Sindhu was presenting. So she showed how the research methodology and finding something that you want to where you're passionate about to take it forward. So, yeah.
Yeah. Sindhu, we want to add the research is, it's not research in physics as such we are doing, right?
Yeah.
The research is for education action.
Okay.
Right? It's correct. Sindhu, we want to add.
Yeah, I mean, you could look at, since you're going to be teaching science in schools, you can look at science education as your area, right, for your field research component. Of course, it's a small component. Yeah, so yes, I mean, what you would like to do further is your choice. That is up to you. You can be open, of course, when you are in the program, you will explore, right, different areas. You may also change what you would want to do later, but that's fine. Yeah.
Sure. Thanks. Thank you.
Let me take some of the chat.
Yes,
very
quite
quickly.
a few.
I'm just trying to see as any selection process related question. Let me go from the beginning. Dr. Rajan, I'll come to you. Give me a minute. The CSR question I'll answer later. Higher education opportunities or research I'll answer later. We have Sindhu should talk about Homi Baba science education, what they do. I miss both interview related meetings. I try to get some details of interview. So interview, Kalyan, you'll have to tell me whether you're qualified in round 1 or round 2. That will help Kalyan.
Yes, I'm qualified in round 1 and I have interview on 15th.
Yeah, so see, this is going to be different. You should remember what you have mentioned as a subject, and it will be related to that. Is that fine, Kalyan?
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
It will be. Yeah.
I've prepared about the subject, but anything else regarding?
Generally, of course. We would like to know you as all the interviews are meant to know you as a person, right? Why are you interested in this program? Correct. So your work, what have you done for a graduation? Are you doing some fellowship? Are you doing some internship? So interviews is basically to know more about you as a person, to find out, are you ready to do MA education? Third, how much of subject that you have applied, you know. It's not a linear kind of thing. That is what we're trying to find out. Because if I tell more, people have just going to apply for round 2, they'll get confused.
Yes, fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Swapnaganda's question: how will the entrance test? You will have to go to a center on 9th March. You'll have to go to a center on 9th March and appear for the entrance test. And the entrance test of round 2 is very different, slightly different from entrance test of round 1, which I'll explain. I'll go to the slide. Yeah. It will be different centers depending on how many people have applied, or it could be one center. We work with this entity called TCS ION. It will be a TCS center that you do this entrance test. Jyoti's question: if I do MA education, what opportunity the long way? I mean, 5 year, or definitely we'll try to answer that. And I'm saying this with I speak with a lot of confidence about placements, because we're just in the middle of placements 2023. A lot of stories to share. What do you expect from candidates applying for this academy? What do you expect from candidates applying for? We expect that you are interested in improving school education. We expect that you are interested in one of the school subject areas listed here on the screen. And this is a personal thing. I also feel that you are interested in the issues of the child, right? End of the day, you know, when I look at education professionals, somebody who's giving the voice to the child who does not have, is a powerless citizen of India, right? Everybody is pouncing on him or her. I'm not putting gender in a binary, don't get me wrong. So those are the expectations people are applying. Once you come in here, expectation is that you read a lot. I mean, that's something we'll do a series of webinar, right? But we're talking mostly about to tell you that, is this the right program for you? Once you're selected, we'll give you another orientation as to how to prepare yourself before you come here and things like that. Okay. So Sumit, hope I have answered the question you're asking. Who should apply to this program? So I'm repeating, people who are applying to this program are because they're deeply concerned about issues of education and want to see some improvement. I mean, I call it as a positive unrest, right? Through positive unrest only changes will come. Second, you're interested in a school subject, because the MA education program here is, I'm not saying anchored, but yeah, the studying, understanding a school subject, the different components of the nature of the subject, what do you teach students in this? What is the method to teach? What is the curriculum pedagogy required? What kind of curriculum materials do we need? So if that is by subject interest, and you should be somebody who wants to immerse yourself in the field also, right? If you are scared of the field, this I told yesterday to the development students, right? If you're scared of the field, don't come to Azim Premji. Not rudely, don't come. There could be other development studies program. Yes, you're trying to look at development using the lens of economics, doing some research. Then this program is not there. We send development program also 16 weeks of field work. Sagar, I can't well speaking and writing in English, but I can understand the importance of study. Yeah, of course, Sagar. The requirement to study at Azim Premji University is your ability to read and comprehend English, and also write English for the assignments that we give. The speaking knowledge in English is something that, and I always say confidently that we Indians develop it very easily. Very easily. You listen a lot of English around you. Every day you listen to a lot of English. I mean, I'm speaking with confidence because I never spoke in English until the age of 22, and I was really forced. So yeah, but this is required. Yeah, please do apply. Go through the selection process. How is MA education different from Master of Education? I'll put the link after a while. I explained that. Answering Kavya's question, you don't need a BEd degree to do MA education, but you need a BEd degree to do MEd. And the orientation of the program, both are slightly different. Yeah, but both are contributing. I mean, MEd, if you look at it this way, right? MEd is directly contributing to what we call pre-service teacher education. BEd is an education, you're a student teacher. It's a pre-service before you get into become a teacher, right? MA education is also preparing you to become a teacher educator. Right? You may be working for an NGO which is designing teacher training programs. People are already teacher, and it's a broad range of roles that you're getting prepared for using a MA in education program. Actually, somebody was asking me yesterday. I got a call asking, "Do you have MBA?" And I said, "Why are you so interested in MBA?" And he said something to. I want to work in the corporate world and things like that. Then I said, we have MEA. So then what is MEA? I said, it's for Master of Education Action. Right? We're preparing you to act on the ground and preparing for a variety of roles. Right? Thank you, Kavya.
Yeah, if I can just add to the MA education. So it's not a teaching certification, right? Unlike an MEd, BEd. So you should remember that if you are looking at that as a formal. MA education is not a formal teaching certification. Of course, our students do go on to teaching, but eventually, over a period of time, if they are serious, they would like to be in teaching, they will need a BEd degree at least, right, over a period of time. So we focus on the teacher education part of it. It's not a formal teaching certification.
Yeah. So while I'm taking question, I just brought the selection process screen also. I'm asking Khalil's question. Economics background, but due to some reason I'm not able to join the questions. What round system application? Yeah, if you want to apply for round 2, we are hoping that your classes, your third year classes would get over by May, June, because classes here will start in July. The final completion certificate we can give you sometime. But if you think your final year, this 23 program, your classes would go into, say, October 23, November 23, you won't be able to, because we're going to start the classes here in July. Correct, Sindhu? The semester starting in July, right?
July, that's right. Yeah, we'll have an orientation for a couple of weeks from the
yeah. So Khalil, you can apply. Students graduating in 23 can apply, right? So that's a quick answer. I want to do MA education Bhopal. Sandeep, applications for Bhopal will be announcing very soon. We're going to close this on 12. And when I say very soon, it will be very soon, right? So we have not announced Bhopal yet, but we'll be announcing very, very soon. Yeah. Redmi Note 9, I have a question. Yeah, Redmi Note 9, you can ask the question. I think you are waiting in the list. I'll answer. MA education exam, sare jitne examination ka hai, it is on the website, but since you asked that question, it is on 12th March. right? Examination 12 मार्क्स को होगा, आपको एक सेंटर में आना है संदीप, and then there it will be, computers will be given, you have to do it online, and test paper pattern is written here. There is 40 multiple choice question, combination of English, numerical ability and social awareness. Essay, there's a question posed, you have to write that essay. Both MCQ and essay will give you around 2 hours. An essay will be a question, right? Sindhu, we're expecting 500, 600 words, right? It's a small essay that you have to write.
Yeah.
Then you should also in the entrances go through a subject test, depending on the subject you have chosen. So in the application form of all MA education students would have mentioned your first preference of subject. So you have to appear for that. I filled science and early childhood subject area, whether I can change later. You have to log in now and change, Shubhankar. Today you go log in and I think it will let you change it. Okay. Let me ask you one question. Yes, you can ask.
Sir, I have one question.
One second, let me just finish. Otherwise, I'll forget. The last question, right? Rui Sukhankar is asking, what are some focus area criteria for both entrance and interview as I need to focus on while preparing? Are there any resources available? Oh, yeah. So I'll stop sharing, Rui, and give you the sample question paper link here immediately. And Anjali, can you raise your hand and ask a question there? That will really help. So, no, wait. I need to do it in some order, no? Do it in some order. So we have kind of finished eligibility and programmatic and selection process. There are placement questions that I need to answer. So whoever is speaking, can you raise your hand and be in the queue? Dr. Rajan, what's your question?
Yeah, sir, actually, I just wanted to know about, am I audible?
Very clear.
Yeah, thank you. Sir, I just wanted to know, like, what is the practicum about the philosophy of education course? Like the core courses which we are teaching, sociology of education, philosophy. So what would be the practicum of the same, sir?
Yeah. Sindhu is best to answer, but quickly tell you, I mean, for others who may not have know what we mean by practicum here. Practicum is also one of the field engagement components designed, right? It's an opportunity, right? The way we say practical, so going to a lab and trying out different experiments, Wheatstone bridge for physics, or it could be some smell of rotten eggs, hydrogen sulfide, right? Practicum is to immediately connect educational theory with practice. Yeah. So every Wednesday, our students are in a school setting. There is no classes that happens on campus. I hope, Sindhu, I'm saying this from memory, it's still Wednesday only.
Yeah, that's right. Just that, post-COVID, things have changed a bit. Okay. But then we are getting back now, and sometimes we may have to reorganize on some other days, such as Saturday. But then by and large, that remains the case. And in your courses, you will have specific tasks that are given that are connected to what you are doing in the classroom, right? So for instance, if I am taking up some idea this week in sociology or in philosophy, I may ask you to, make some observations in your school or in the community, or interview a teacher in philosophy, right, related to teaching, right? So these things feed into your course, and it is also assessed, right? You may have to write up a reflection, or you may have to write up, some analysis of the work that you did or the tasks that you are expected to do with children in school as part of child development, right? So this is assessed as part of your courses. It is not part of the field practice component, while it is engaging with the field.
Yeah, hope that's clear, Dr. Rajan. And this practicum tasks are given by faculty members for them to.
That's right. Yeah.
Observe. The practicum is
you'll have a calendar. You'll have a calendar for that, and you will have to follow that calendar.
The idea of practicum is to observe, right? You're not providing any solution there to anybody. It's
yeah. You may have some small interventions in the schools where you are, but that will be really small. Yes, given the space.
Okay, who's next? Anjali, what's your question?
Hello, sir. This is actually Navunita. I had a confusion regarding the joining in thing. So that's how Anjali had given me the link. Anyway. Okay. So what my question is, I stay in Bangalore only. Hopefully we should meet tomorrow.
Okay.
What I would want to know is, like, I do not have any background of this subject, like education and anything of this sort. Okay. Now, what I understand is our entrance course would have an essay to write, either, I mean, there are choices like education is there, science is there, mathematics is there. So I have chosen, I have already enrolled myself. I have chosen science, and I have chosen early childhood education. Now, my point is, like, when I'm writing an essay, because I am not from that background, what kind of thought process is expected for me to pen down, so that it is good enough for me to express myself and also to clear the test? Am I clear? I don't know. Did you?
No.
Yes.
I mean, I did quite understand. Let me just bring back the screen. Okay. See here.
Because we
what
don't
what-
come from that background.
No, it's not this. The thing is, see, to do, to really ask me, right? And for others also, before I forget, the subject assessment, what we're looking at is a class 10 level. Class 10 level subject knowledge is what we're looking at. Apart from that, what we're looking at is, this is probably, if you look at any of your CUET or any entrance examination tests or whatever, what we're looking at is this. Number one, do you have English reading comprehension capacities? Right? So there's a passage given, and then there's second is, do you have mathematical, numerical ability, quantitative ability, right? If something is asked in percentage, decimal, fraction, can you interpret a graph, x-axis, y-axis? This is basic. This is common for all. Let it be LLM, let it be MA development, MPH kind of thing. The essay is a reflective answer. There's no right or wrong answer. Right? A question is asked for you to respond about a issue, right, on education. How well are you able to logically present it? That is what we're looking at an essay. We're not expecting you to have a domain understanding of education, because you're coming here to learn that, right? So
yeah, and the essay is not connected to your subject either, right? Because you were so subject test is separate. The essay is so if you are aware of current issues in the area, you've thought about it, and also you'll have to structure, right, your writing in a manner that's comprehensible, right? That people reading it should be able to follow. Okay, this is how she's thinking about things. So that's not linked to your subject, right? That's a simple.
okay. The next question is Redmi Note 9. What's your name?
Sir Burhan.
Yeah. What is the question?
Actually, sir, now I'm a UG student, and now third year, and my exam will be over, I think, April or maybe May. And so, can I apply for MA education now?
April, May is very good. See, this is for both people who have graduated earlier or people who are graduating in 23. Okay. So April, May is really good. April, May, we will give you time to submit the degree certificates and all. You can definitely apply. Which university is this, if I may know?
Bharatiya University from Coimbatore.
Kandipa apply panna. Dharanama apply panna. Okay.
Okay, good, sir. What about percentage?
No, we're not looking for. See, the thing is, I mean, the eligibility we kept it is that you should have a valid degree from to pursue post graduation. Okay, that is enough. That is enough, because other evaluation we'll do.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah. Just looking at some chat messages to respond. Again, there is Khalil. You want to ask a question, or did we finish? If you have answered, I'll really request you to lower your hand. Khalil, Manavar Khalil, do you still have a question? Or I'll go to.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah.
As you respond that you can go for the application, as I am not sure when my graduation will be completed or exam will be held, the final 6th semester. So it's my assumption is that exam will be last on June, July or August, maybe. If I applied for this, means I'm willing to apply in MA economics. So the classes will be, as you said, the classes will be started in July.
Correct.
Yeah. So if my graduation is still going on, then what shall I do?
So I'll tell you what the university do, right? So what the university does is, in such cases, we give provisional admission. Okay.
Provisional admission
to Azim Premji University, and we'll give you time till September, October to submit your degree certificate.
Okay, means last deadline is September, October.
I don't decide. We go by the UGC guidelines.
Yeah.
So UGC would say that we can give them some time to submit the completion certificate, like a transfer certificate or 6 semester marks card and things like that. Some very rare cases, because of COVID, the calendar of many universities are very different. Some people we waited till November, December.
Yeah, due to only COVID, these universities.
But what I'm saying is that is a call that you will have to decide, right? If your classes are not getting over in October, I would say please apply for 24 cohort.
Okay, no.
Because you can't be in both the places, no? Here we are quite clear. There is attendance requirement. You have to be in the class. Taking a break from here, longer break from here will not be possible. It's, I always say, Azim Premji University curriculum is a slow-moving treadmill. Once you start moving, you have to be on that. You can't. There's no rest. Suddenly.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I'm from the West Bengal, so I need to move.
Yeah. So, okay. So you think about it, which university, and then we'll talk calls.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going.
Venkata Shiva, what is your question?
Sir, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, I am from AB. My name is Venkata Shiva, sir. My doubt is, in this university provide any scholarship, sir?
Oh, plenty. I mean, I thought have you applied to the program? Have you applied to the program?
Yes, sir.
You applied, right? So let me just explain that one more time. Somebody is asking me about Bhopal. I will just respond to that on the chat, and then I'll bring up the slide. I think there's a slide on scholarship. So, and while I'm doing that, let me also see what all have missed. So selection process we did. We spoke about the entrance test pattern. We spoke, right? We'll have multiple choice question. We'll have an essay question. And MA education students will have to choose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 areas. We have to choose one. Okay. Before I go into financial assistance, see, the another thing that we're quite clear as a university is that and we're still learning. I'm not saying we completely got it right, but within the second year, we were quite clear of the student support that is required. We were imagining that it's adults coming here after 1 degree and they'll need only minimal support. We were completely wrong. So even in the second year onwards, we had professional counselors, right? It's to see that you all have a positive mental health to study at Azim Premji University. We have faculty office hours where you think that, oh, I'm not able to ask Sindhu this question. What will my friends think about me? You can request her and make use of our office hours. Every faculty have got office hours. We realized that, many of them, we would really want them in the classroom here, and we realized that they will need English language support. So we have language support for students.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So in that way, we are quite ready. I mean, I've not mentioned everything. Students on scholarship will get a laptop here, right? And all that is possible because that we are a philanthropic university. We are not here operating on student fees. So I'll move on to ask your question. If your family income is less than 7 lakhs, you are ready for you're eligible for a scholarship. Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah, if your family income is less than 2 lakhs, we provide full fee waiver. Full fee. If your family income is less than 2 lakh, fee waiver on tuition, fee waiver on accommodation, and now we are also looking at giving food allowance for some students in exceptional cases. So how do I say this? Focus on the selection process, preparing for the program. The finances, leave it to us, right? You will go through a financial aid evaluation process by my expert colleagues, and then we will decide. Apart from all this, what we call, this is called need-based scholarship, right? We don't believe in the idea of merit. You already shown merit by completing your 12, finishing your degree, and then clearing our selection process itself is a merit. So we look at your family needs and then decide on how much scholarship you need. Right?
So, sir, it will be provided based on the merits, sir?
No, it's on based on a need, based on a family income.
Okay. Sir.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, sir. But I have another doubt, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, I am studying from SU University, sir.
Okay.
So my graduation will be completed 2 months later, sir. So it is some problem to submit my graduation certificate, sir. It will be given sometime, sir.
No, we are not. When you go and apply online, we were not asking for any certificate at this point of time. What you need is your photograph so that the admit card can be issued.
Okay, sir. But I am asking about when you crack the interview and that
No,
entrance.
no. You will need it. You will need the certificate. The collection, everything happens at the day of joining. That will be in July.
Okay. On that time, it will be given sometime, sir.
Yeah, if July still you don't have it, we'll give you some time. If the delay is from the university, if the university has already released the result, we know, right? Result, and it is because that you have not taken efforts to apply, we will ask you to submit it.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Got it? Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah. Before I forget, there is financial assistance also for people with work experience. We don't look at your financial need. Straight away, we waive off 1 year tuition fee. So, right? Yeah. So, Mogaram Rishi, I don't know which website are you checking. We do not have women's studies as a program. Of course, we do deal with issues of gender, how it impacts education in our sociology of education course. Okay. So, yeah. And let me see if anything else that is missing. Placements, I'll come back and talk about it. I just want to tell you that you could come tomorrow for the open house. And this is quite a vibrant university. There is also a public lecture. If you're in Bangalore, you can attend this event also in the city, somewhere in the near MG Road. So I'll bring back the slides later, but let me take the questions from Ahuti. Ahuti, yeah.
Good evening, sir. I have been a teacher since last 24 years and I shifted to Bangalore last May. Right. May to Jan, I was sitting without a job, without any course, something. So I decided to do this course. As I went through the website, I really liked everything so well. But the moment I started giving a thought about it, I'm getting job offers. So yeah. I have taken up one, but then my inclination towards doing MA education is also the same. I really don't know what to do. I haven't joined the school yet. But is there any provision that while being in the school, I can still be a part of this MA education course?
Yeah, so how do I say? See, we do not, I don't think MA education ever be a distance education program, because the thing is, if you really ask me, what we are really teaching you at the higher education space is to give you critical thinking capacities. When I say critical thinking capacity is, and when you start working in education, you'll find that, right? So many opinions will be thrown at you, do this, do that. But as a practitioner of education, you should know that I'm quite clear. I am going to follow this particular taxonomy or this particular framework for this. Right, so it's a clear perspective building program also, and that happens when you're inside a classroom with a group of different kinds of learners also. This peer learning becomes very important. But along with that, we understand that all teachers, you said you have been a teacher for many years, we have designed short-term diploma programs for teachers. So I would request that you still consider MA education at the same time, because it's a different program. It's a 2-year academic inquiry into the domain of education through theory, one subject area knowledge, and practice. Yeah, but for teachers like you, this will not be in a distance mode. You could look at our diploma program. It feels like early childhood education. I don't know which class you are teaching, or if you're somebody who's want to understand the framework of what it means to be an inclusive educator in a classroom, you could look at our diploma programs. But so glad to hear somebody with so much of experience is considering a PG in education is great. What do you say, Sindhu?
Yeah, definitely. I think, I think it will be worthwhile. So
It's the
you
same
should
thing,
consider it.
sir. Madam, sir, in this is just I think 10 minutes ago you spoke about it, that it is time for us to close down some of the bad B.Ed colleges. So I wouldn't say that I was a student from a university where they taught me or not, but yes, our practices have been old. It's time for us to, no doubt, we keep updating ourselves by getting into a lot of webinars and all that. But still, I'm sure Azim Premji University teaches us to get into the depth of any matter. So this is what I'm looking for at this age and with so much of experience. But yet to decide whether to join Azimji or to get back to my job.
Think about it, because I mean, you know best to do what your heart says. Because see, the thing is, when people like you come join the classroom here, there'll be a lot for others to learn from you. You have been, as a practitioner, what you have observed in your classrooms is valuable for you. You'll bring that into the classroom.
Absolutely.
Right? So, but I'll leave the decision to you. There's a lot of teacher requirement also in Bangalore. I know that. Many things are going on in the school system in Bangalore. Yeah. So, is there any other questions that you're pending? I'm thinking, we don't have women's studies, Mugaram Rishi. I responded to you. Can we virtually join the open house? Not really, because I want to have a free chat with the people. If the camera is on there, I may not be able to talk freely. So we are not doing it. We're not streaming it live, this open house. Worked after my postgrad and I've applied for MA education. I'm also belong to C category. Will I get scholarship? Yeah. So here the scholarship is based on your family income. Yeah. So once you have, we'll ask you for the documentation at that point of time. When you clear the interview, we will need an income certificate from the local government and all. Sorry, local panchayat. That time we will look at that. Okay. So any more questions? When did we start? Oh, we started at 5 o'clock. Yeah, we crossed 1 hour. Any other burning questions that we should be answering? Please raise your hand. There is, Akansha, Akanka Basu's question. Go for it. Oh, there's 2 questions I did not respond. I'm so sorry. Oh, they are in the thing about placements.
Yeah, can I go ahead?
Rajgopal, you're going ahead with placements, or should we
No, we'll
go
take this
ahead with the
question
questions?
and then we'll take this and then the questions, right? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
Let me bring my other slide, PPT by the time.
Okay. So while going through the website, like going for an in-depth research, I came across this point where it talked about how the university provides opportunities, earning opportunities, if I'm not wrong with the term, to students. So if you can kindly explain a bit more of that.
Yeah. So that's also part of the student support, right? So we realize that a lot of students come here, even if we give them full scholarship, right? And they are the ones who need the most of the support. Even if we give them full scholarship, they may need some kind of a support to take care of their education here at Azim Premji University. So we have very small, what we call student assistantship projects. Okay. So a couple of students, we will connect them with our library team. So they maybe take care of the library work. Some of them works with an admissions office. Also, we have a lot of them who helps us with some little bit of data, maintenance of Excel data and things like that, right? Somebody may be working with the student help desk team. So there are jobs available, and I can confidently say that, I mean, I've been here for some 10 years. So I can confidently say that as compared to our previous campus where it was near Electronic City, there are more opportunities in this campus because it's an 80-acre campus. We have more functions, and we are a larger university. But it may not be available on demand, where you'll say, I want a job tomorrow, can I work? That may not be possible. Yeah, that may not be possible, but that opportunity exists.
So is it also a need-based, like the scholarship?
Both. See, for example, sometimes our communication team will need a video editor. So then we will look for somebody who knows Adobe and all video editing. Somebody will say, we quite I mean, there's never a dull moment at Azim Premji. There's so many events happening. So we will need, and we want to capture some of the good moments. So we will need somebody who knows how to handle a DSLR camera or some eye of photography. Yeah.
Right. Yes.
So some are skill based, some are need based.
Okay.
Yeah, got it right. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
Right. So there is one before I bring in the PPT on education. Sindhu, can you help me with this? Any questions coming in here?
Yeah, so there is one of the interview criteria between experienced teachers and fresh graduates as well, from Swapnil, right? Yeah, so possibly one way of looking at it is, of course, there will be a varying, level of, experience, background in education. We are looking at definitely some interest, right? So as a fresh graduate, possibly you wouldn't have enough experience, right? Or reflection, right? In education. That is okay, because we are not assuming that. But we see interest, we see some, possibilities that you have volunteered, you've tried to work in this area, you have some passion, you have good questions, you have interest, right? So that's something, and you have some academic potential as well to take up higher education, right? So this is what we look at. We're not basing it on the previous experience that you have had, relevant experience, right? That we're not necessarily giving you, a sort of grade, points there, right? Though it will be to your advantage when you are talking about your interests. But so there are ways in which we can figure out, right? Fresh graduates as opposed to those with more experience, their interest and potential. Yeah.
Okay, let me now bring somebody who asked the CSR kind of a question, right? So this is typically a deck that we prepared for colleges, universities asking, what is this education sector all about, right? So I'll just quickly go through this and tell you what do we mean by the education sector. I'm skipping this thing. See, at a very broad level, this is what its education sector is. Right? A variety of organizations, and this is based on what we have seen in the last 10 years of our placements, right? So your CSR department is one among the many organizations which are there in the education space. There are large organizations like a Tata Trust or Pratham Foundation, of course, Azim Premji Foundation. That's one, right? Which I say organization with some unrestricted amount of money to do their work. There are community-based organizations, solid organizations, 20, 30-year-old organizations like an Eklavya Gram Vikas. CSR department we spoke. There are interesting social enterprises like a Mantra for Change having completed 10 years in Bangalore. So proud of Khushbu and team who's doing the work. And they just released their 10-year leadership team. And I'm so happy to see Azim Premji University students there in the leadership team now, right? That's one. And there are academic institutions doing serious research in the field of education. I think Sindhu herself is from Homi Baba, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember. Yeah, right. So there are this. Then the government wanting to recruit fellows and things like Varun Sharma works with the Telangana government. He directly works with the IAS officer, deciding on budgets, how much money should be spending for this, that, and things like that. There's a lot of freelance work of this content development. We hope our students get and change the way content development is happening in the education space. So sometimes that worries, right? So I'll stop here, right? So there's a range of job happening which needs to be done by trained education professionals. I'm repeatedly saying this, right? Repeatedly saying this. People with a good understanding of education, not people with only content knowledge or programming knowledge. You need perspectives in education of thinking right, plus and a good pedagogic content knowledge to work in education. So I'll stop here. I hope I've answered the question on placement. And enough jobs. Huh? I mean, we don't try to lure students by saying there's come to Azim Premji University, this 100% placement, this is the pay package, and we would want you to find that out through your network, peers. But you can say there are a lot of opportunities. But this is academically a pretty demanding program. You have to apply yourself very well, and then you will decide what kind of jobs you want. Okay. Right. So with that, is there somebody else has raised the hand? And
Swapnil just raised.
Yeah, go for it. Then we'll end the session. Yeah.
Sure, sir. Thank you, sir. Quick question. As we were talking about on the placement thing, so sir, regarding the content of this webinar, my question is a bit different, but from like you people are very experienced in this field, so I just want to know that I see that the teachers are underpaid in terms of how much efforts and how much time they give in the schools, and as educators they do they put their efforts. So isn't it about the exploitation of teachers at this level? I mean, given the pay, it's very not proportional in that matter.
Sindhu, can I answer that question?
Yeah, sure.
This is something which I have also been deeply thinking about this. So, are you a teacher by any chance, Swapnil?
No, sir, I'm just pursuing my graduation right now.
Pursuing graduation, sir. So, on what basis did you say that teachers are not paid enough and things like that?
Sir, my brother is in education field. He has done his MA in education from this Mumbai, and he's a program manager right now in Delhi. So, given the efforts and the work hours he put in his work and the pay which he gets back, it's very disproportional to see. So in that context, I was asking.
Yeah. So it's like this. Let me put it this way, right? Let me put it this way. If it's about your brother, let me put it this way, right? See, there is something called meaningful work. Okay. So the premise of working in education is that you are doing some meaningful work. That is extremely important. But that doesn't mean that people who are working will be underpaid. So let me give you, since you brought that point, I observe the social sector. I've been observing the sector for the last 10 years. Since I came here in 2013, I can see that the starting salary is going up. From it was around 18 to 20K, it has gone beyond 30, 32K for fresh postgraduates. Okay, so that's one thing. Now, in this sector, if you are especially in sector, the first 5 years is going to be very tough. It is not going to be easy. The first 5 years. I'll tell you why.
Yes, sir.
I'll tell you why. Because most of the especially if you're working in with a community-based organization, and I sincerely believe that in the first 5 years of a career, please, I'm tired of telling this to my own students who are here, that and those are mistakes that I've done by taking up a job behind glass doors in Madras without knowing what's happening in the construction site, right? The first 5 years of that experience working with the community is important because you may not be able to do that when you are old. One reason. Second is that experience is required for you to design intervention. See, after 10 years of your work life in the social sector, education sector, you will be a program designer. There is, because I don't see in 10 years of ASAR report, you tell me, annual status of education report, do you see any big change? If somebody is following annual status of education report, we are not, because we are report के ऊपर report बना रहे हैं. इंडिया में IITs है, IIMs है, National Law School है, Indian Institute of Education नहीं है.
True, sir. Very true.
Right. So later when you get into roles like a program designer, program manager, curriculum expert, then suddenly you see that you are in demand.
Yes, sir.
Right? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So again, I'm saying we don't disclose the highest pay package our students get here and all, because only one student gets. We don't want to do the way other universities are doing. This organization में इतना pay package मिला. Only one student has got it. They don't talk about the other students. We disclose the average pay package, and we're quite happy that the average pay package that students, fresh graduates are getting is increasing year on year. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you a lot.
I thought you're talking about some of the teachers who are underpaid and things like that, but that's a completely different discussion.
Yes, sir.
Scholarship for people with work experience. Devlina Bhatta, yeah, thanks a lot for the session. Got really excited. Thank you so much. Yeah. The thing is, time to tell me a little bit more. I don't know a little bit more what I should tell about placement. I wish I could try. Scholarship opportunities for somebody needs to be on mute. Okay, I've just muted them. Scholarship opportunity for people with work experience is very simple. If you have more than 3 years of work experience after graduation, we will straight away waive off your 1-year tuition fee. That means if the semester fee is 50,000 rupees for someone with family income more than 7 lakhs. That 50,000 we will make it 25,000. Right? Yeah. See, about placements, since you asked that question, you go to our website, you will see that what we've written is this year we cannot accept any more organizations for placements. We were expecting 100, 110, it reached 150. So Subrat Mishra, who leads placement, said we had to bring down the form because we were quite clear that we will not be able to have more than 150 organizations of placements because students would nahi hai. But then the organization was saying, no, we want to be in touch with Azim Premji University, opened the form so that our name is there for the 2024 placements. And I'm not making it up. I'm not talking about Azim Premji University. I'm talking about the requirement of trained professionals in the social sector space. And they're coming to Azim Premji University because they know that yahan pe thoda bahut prepared students milega. Yeah, that is the.
No, makes sense.
That's the thing, right?
Makes sense. Thank you so much. No, you just mentioned earlier on the session that you had some exciting stories to share about the placement part, and because it's placement time now, and that's what I was referring to.
Yeah. This is exactly the story I wanted to.
Got it. Thank you so much.
I really wanted to share. Yeah.
Thanks a lot for sharing, sir.
No problem. I mean, if you if you go and look at websites like NGO Box or places like DevInfo, there are DevNet, there are a lot of non-teaching jobs coming up in education. I think the people when they hear education, their imagination is that of a teacher in a classroom. Of course, we need well-trained teachers, right? But you can't be keeping on blaming the teacher for issues happening which he or she or the teacher does not have any control. This means we need to train a different kind of professionals, and there are jobs available. NEP is going to, each time I read, say, Sindhu said the foundational stage NCF document that has come out, right, which is focusing on foundational literacy and numeracy for children between 3 and 8. And the target was to achieve that by 2025, and the government will have to extend it to 2027. Because of COVID, but to work in that area, we need a lot of trained professionals. Yeah, so it's the country that is, or the demand is what, or the way. At least there's a promise to the child that we will ensure that we will give you 12 years of reasonable quality education. The mean years of education is around 7 years. It should have been 12 as per the HDI calculation. So how do we do that, right? So. Thank you for listening. I think with your permission, I think we should just wrap it now. Do read a lot about education, what's happening with the National Assessment Survey, ASAR reports, you get an idea of what's happening. Look at your state. Where do you stand at the national average? So I was interacting with a group of students from Uttar Pradesh to tell them, to remind them that, the thing is, I'll say this and stop, Sindhu. 60% of our children are in 6 states. 60% of our children are in 6 states, right? So if you need to have interventions, you have to design interventions in Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, West Bengal. Right? You can't just keep being happy about a strong public education system in Kerala. Good for Kerala. Well done, right? But those stories we have to look at as a larger country. Yeah, we don't have Indian Institute of Education. We do not have Indian Education Services also in the state level. We have every other department from forest to revenue to, during the Britishers' time, we had Indian Education Service. So it's a very complex decision making that happens at the state level, at a community level, at an individual level. So welcome. I hope many of you clear our selection process and we see them here on the campus, Sindhu. So Sindhu, thank you very much. I know how busy you all are with the field evaluation that you just did of students in the last 2 days. And thank you for taking time. Right? Thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Rajkumar.
Yeah. Thanks. Somebody's asking which other states, top 6 states are Uttar Pradesh, Bihar. This is in the order. Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, West Bengal accounts to 59.17% of children. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Bye. I'll just hang around for 2-3 minutes.
Yeah.
If somebody wants to look at the chat messages and copy my links and things like that, after 2 minutes, I'll end the session. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, everyone.
Okay, need to end the session now. Thank you, folks. Thanks for joining. Have a wonderful evening and a wonderful weekend. Bye.